Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. Today's episode is the number one reason I started taking paying clients before I had a certification. And to be honest, if I could go back, I would do the same thing over again. And the number one reason that I started taking paying clients before I had a certification is because you can't coach people if you don't have clients. And to be honest, you don't have a business if you don't have clients. To me, it was like the same thing as, practicing for a driving test, passing your driving test and getting your license, but then you don't have a car, right? And so it's useless. You have to take the bus everywhere still. And so what happened for me is a few years ago, I had just quit my job. I was hungry to start helping as many people as possible manifest their dream life because I was a manifestation coach at the time. And I decided that I wasn't going to let anything come between me and building this business. I was like, I need to build this business. I don't have a job. Like, I have a fire under my ass. Like, I need to get clients and show myself that this is working so that I can stick with it. And so I could have invested in multiple four-figure certifications, right? That would cost me $5,000, but that would also take me months to finish that certification. And what would happen is, one, I would have information overload. And once I finished the certification, I wouldn't have anyone to coach, right? Or my second option that I thought of was I could actually start taking clients for free and have on the job training and become a better coach that way. And then eventually start taking paid clients from there, which is exactly what I did. And the way I look at it as you can, sit in a classroom if you're a basketball player and learn about basketball all day, which is amazing. But what's even better is getting out on the court and practicing all day and using your skills, right? And so the only way that you're going to become better at something is if you actually do it. And so I was like, I need to do this. Even though it was scary, even though I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I knew that if I wanted this business to be a reality, I needed to get out of my comfort zone. And I'm not someone who waits. And so I was like, I'm not waiting for a certification to start taking clients because at the end of the day, this is an unregulated industry. I didn't actually need it. And so I decided that I would get my certification not when I needed it, but when I wanted it. And so what happened next was instead of investing in a certification, I invested in learning how to scale my business and I made my first 10K month before I ever got my certification. It was 6 months into my business. And that's exactly why I created DBA, because when I was furloughed from my job and they called me to ask me back and I told them I quit and I told my dad that I got fired and he still has no idea, I spent the next 6 months with my head down making this work. And 6 months later, I hit my first 10K month. Which is all the steps and strategies that I use to hit that 10K month, I have put into DBA, Dream Business Accelerator. And I heard my dad on the phone with his friend bragging about my 10K month. And so that's why I created DBA, because it is the course that is the reason that I'm here, to be honest with you. Oh my gosh, I have chills. But anyway, so what happened next, right, is I made my first 10K month. And then I finally got to the point where I was, making so much money that I was like, all right, I'm ready for a certification. And the reason why I wanted to do the certification wasn't because I wanted to become a better coach. Because the truth was, the craziest part is my clients got incredible results before my certification. You guys know my one client who was $80,000 in debt, and now she owns a six-figure plus business and has wiped all of that debt out. She was one of my first clients, right? And so the craziest part is my clients got incredible results before my certification, and they still get incredible results after my certification. And why is that, right? The reason is because I didn't make a signed piece of paper mean anything about what I could or couldn't have. I decided that I wanted to take that certification because I wanted to learn more about the brain. I wanted to learn more about how we become successful and why some people don't, and the filters in our brain. And I was just so curious. It felt like I was taking a course at like school or something. And that's why I wanted to take it, because I love to learn and I love learning, but I didn't take it because I thought I needed something. I thought I needed it to become a better coach. And the funniest part is I love my certification. And yes, I use parts of it, but it's really like a toolbox. Like I use it as a toolbox and I don't use it in every session. Like, or I usually use it just with my one-on-one clients when they want it. And a lot of my one-on-one clients are like, we'd rather just talk to you instead of using a tool, which is like just so crazy to think about. And so I just want everyone to know that a signed piece of paper doesn't mean anything about what you can or can't have. And I didn't make it mean that if I had a certification, I need it, or I didn't make it mean that I needed a certification before I started my business, or else I would have never started it, right? I didn't make it mean that I was a bad coach without it, and now I'm a good coach. I didn't make it mean my clients wouldn't get the results they wanted if I didn't have one. And I didn't make it mean I could or couldn't sign four-figure clients. And what I find a lot is people make something mean something about something else. So they make it mean that like I can't start my business till I have a certification. I can't, take clients till I have a certification. I'm not a good coach unless I have a certification. And they make it mean something about themselves. Instead, I decided I was worthy of helping people regardless of a signed piece of paper or not. And that's the belief I adopted about everything in my life. And the truth is, when I jumped on the certification call months later, like I was with all the girls on the certification call, which was so cute. Some of them recognized me from Instagram, which was just such a crazy moment. When I jumped on the call and I told them all that like I had courses already and I had clients and I had like this business, they were shocked. They were absolutely shocked. And I've actually had people from my cohort in my certification sign up to be my client after they took the certification because they realized that, oh my gosh, I now have the certification, but I have no idea how to build a business. And what I learned from a lot of women who took the certification is they were saying, like, I have to wait till I have the certification to have a business. They were also, I have to, put my life on hold. I can't. And so the certification was like, 3 months long, and they were deciding that they couldn't make money now. They couldn't have their business now. They couldn't start helping people now. And then once they finished their certification, not only did they spend a lot of money on it, which was money well spent, but after that, they were like, okay, that's information overload, right? They had all this information and they also had more imposter syndrome because they felt like if they didn't do the things that they were taught to a T, then they weren't a good coach. Whereas I already started coaching people. I already felt confident in what I was doing because I was seeing myself get the results in real time. So what I realized when I looked around at that call and all the incredible worthy women on that call on that certification was that they had decided that they needed something outside of themselves to be an incredible coach. And the truth is that there's nothing that you need outside of you. I want you guys to remember that there's nothing standing in your way of what you desire. It's all an illusion. It's a limiting belief that you get to shift because truth is you were worthy before, you are worthy now, and you will always be worthy. And something outside of you does not change that. So many times we decide that we need XYZ before we can start something, right? Or before we can attract something into our life. Like I need to be fully healed in order to attract my soulmate. I need to be fully healed in order to, attract clients or make money. I need to have XYZ. I need to have a certification. I need to, be able to, for example, even in my own business, I need to learn how to do sales calls. When I was like, no, I'm just going to get rid of sales calls and sell in DMs. I need to, make sales pages. When I was like, no, I'm just going to sell on my stories, right? Like there's all these things that we say like we need to do. And in reality, it's just someone else being like their limiting beliefs on you, saying that like, I should do this in order to get this. That's their limiting beliefs. You can decide to have another way. You can decide that you are perfect as you are. And sometimes I just get sad because I'm like, we decide that we have to wait to have something in our lives till we have something else, till we've, done something else. And if you just start to realize that everything you've ever wanted is possible in this very moment, and you decided that you were worthy of it and that you were special and that you can have it and you're good enough for it and you don't need anything outside of you to decide that you are good enough for what you want, miracles will start happening. And so the truth is, if I could go back, I would do it the same way over and over again because, like I said, I love my certification. It was incredible, and I would do my certification over again as well, but that's not the reason that I'm here today. The reason I'm here today is because I believed I was worthy of coaching clients with or without a signed piece of paper. Paper. I believed I was worthy of having this business. Believed I was worthy of helping people, of having clients, of having the following, of living this life that was unexplainable to everyone else. I believed I was worthy of miracles, and I was worthy 4 years ago, and I'm still worthy of that today, and that's the reason that I'm here. It's not because of my certification, it's not because anyone else believed in me. In fact, I was the only one who really believed in me, right? My dad wanted me to get a real job, bless his heart. I still love that man, and I decided that this was possible for me and no one else, and that I did not need anything outside of me to make this happen. And so I love you so much. And I just want you to know, like, even with courses, like when I'm saying, like, I would love to have you in DBA, you don't need DBA. If you want to be in DBA, if you want to learn how I created this business and how I do it simply and in the way that I like to do it, and the way that works best for me, and how I have used these same tools to work on my clients, then come into DBA. If you want to work with me in my one-on-one coaching because you want to be in there, come. But you don't need anything. You don't need anything outside of you to be worthy enough to have it. You can want those things and you can use those things to fast track where you are right now, but they're not something that is required. The only thing that is required is your belief in your goddamn self. I love you guys so much. I hope you have the best rest of the week, and I'm just so grateful for this community.